Bucky's gonna cut this out.
Massive beep.
Yeah, I don't know. Benny,
Hey man,
2020.
what are you?
Nearly done. Time to wrap up.
What a fucking massive year.
Massive year.
Massive.
All right, time to reflect, brother. What do you think the biggest theme of 2020 has been for us?
Well, I guess the theme is probably the same as most places. Obviously, COVID was a massive shock to the system. I think we actually handled that one relatively well with a bit of guidance and some strategic sort of contingency planning to help us work through that. Being transparent with our team, having a great customer base that saw that times are slowing down and to pull out all their old builds and everything like that and start getting things happening. So I think we navigated that one quite well.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. Obviously, COVID was very January, February, March. What the fuck just happened? Now it's December type thing. But look, I guess biggest theme for me with the whole COVID thing is probably two things, and I guess this goes with our team as well. It's like the importance of, we've got a great bunch of guys who work for us, and it was, I guess it was really empowering to have that conversation when shit went south with our team, and to sit down and be honest with the guys in the team and to be able to go, shit, this is happening, guys, we don't know what's going to happen and what we're going to have to do with jobs. And we can obviously luckily say that not only do we not have to lay anyone off with COVID, we've hired four people since COVID started. The theme of that for me is tough times and pandemics and all that crap, I guess, it really shows the cracks in the armour, I guess.
Well, I'd say it really showed to us that we had a great team when we had that conversation with it. It was like one in all in.
Yeah, 100%.
That actually hit me in the feels like, fuck, they've got our back, and if we need to do something, we've got a team that's going to fight for
I
it.
definitely think that was probably my theme for 2020, and I guess the probably part two of that, which is, I think I'm still interested to see how it plays out, I guess, in what happens with the world post-COVID.
Yeah.
It was I think we were very lucky. Obviously we get to do a lot of luxury cool stuff. In terms of when everybody is not allowed to travel or go anywhere, our amazing customer base were, the people who were maybe going to spend some money tricking out their cars were like, well, I'm definitely going to do it because I can't spend it on anything else, which I think was cool. But just seeing what comes next is really into with the digital side of things. I don't know if it's a theme, but it's kind of the adapt or die thing, you know what I mean? I know there were so many people who just threw their hands up through 2020 and went, this shit's too hard, why is it all happening to me? Yeah. But I guess it's...
and I don't know if that's from our sort of, I guess, the high level community that we're in, because, you get a lot of these the suppliers coming in and out and they talk about, this place is going down, they're talking that, it's all fucking because of COVID and I'm shutting down because of this and whatnot, and that's an excuse, find a way to fucking pivot. I don't know enough if that's just our grit and resilience or our better vision, but I don't think there was once in that whole point in time where we're like, fuck, this is not something out of our control, because in the end of the day we controlled everything that whole time. So
So lesson, what do you think your biggest lesson that we learned from 2020 was?
The one that strikes probably for me the most was just getting back to basics. I think, the 13, 14 years of us being in business, we were just technicians and people that worked on cars. We never really had too much business sense, and we've just been lucky to navigate our way through it, but with some strategic input. I think getting back to basics is going to really help us become efficient and really start to pull this place in some amazing directions.
I totally agree with that. And I guess, like I said, I wish we got the kick up the arse earlier to know that, it's so easy to get caught up in the, we build this ultra awesome cool stuff, but it doesn't mean anything if you're either not, if you're not supporting your family, putting food on the table, or doing the right thing by your team. The glitz and the glamour doesn't mean anything if you don't have your fundamentals right of being able to, I guess especially both of us with kids now, like getting the fundamentals right in terms of, if you can't schedule right, it means you're not home for your family. You know what I mean? If you schedule your calendar wrong, or you're doing stressing out the boys, on the floor, or you're not delivering on a product. So I think that was a massive eye opener for us. That in terms of like hustle gets you so far, and then you know you've kind of got to go back to the start. I think my biggest lesson I think for 2020 is probably which is back to basics as well. I guess understanding your why again a little bit more without sounding all Simon Sinek and stuff like that. Kind of understanding like your purpose and why you do what you do, and then in turn that allows you to kind of know. I guess 2020 we've never been clear on who we are as a company and what customers we want to work with and what kind of cars we want to work on and why we do what we do. And I think that was something that was pretty foggy for a little bit. So I think that was probably my biggest lesson for 2020 is getting really clear on who we are, why we do it, and then it kind of I don't know, you read in every book, it's so fucking cliche, you know what I mean? But then when it hits you, you're kind of like, oh, makes sense now.
You know, I think being clear on our why, and I completely agree with you, is, I mean, it really sort of gets a vibe out there, and almost, I mean, like a magnet draws in like-minded people, even if they don't understand the why. There's just a feeling that they get, and I mean, with us being clear on our business's purpose, our why. I mean, I think we're finding there is a gap forming, but in saying that, I mean, we're starting to work with the people that align with us. It becomes more easier transactions. So no, I'm 100% with you that one as well.
Cool. So what do you think speaking of why, what do you think your favourite build that we did this year was?
And why?
And why?
There's been a lot, and I don't want to go through a list and potentially forget something, because again, there's been some pretty outstanding ones, but
no pressure.
Yeah, I know, but I'd definitely say, I mean, off the top of my head, and it's probably one of the reason behind this is because it's been on our hit list for a while. And I think it's where we start to change sort of what we do in a way would be probably Clive's RS3 build. We've worked really hard to get, I guess the approval to be able to build Roush serialized vehicles up in Queensland, and that's with Mustang Motorsports and Craig Dean. But that was seriously a fucking cool car. And you get those people coming down here sort of talking about the R specs and all this sort of stuff, and it's like, man, if you knew, you would spend the extra bit of money on an RS3. So with that, we want to work, obviously, with our 10-year mission into building more of these serialized vehicles and brand new vehicles that will come straight from our showroom.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That was, you're right. I think Clive's it's one of those classic ones where it's the customer comes to you first with a vision of what they want. It wasn't even that. Clive was necessarily just, not even necessarily, I want to build this car. It's like, this is what I want, boys. How do we build this? And to be able to come together and not, Clive didn't even have the car yet. You know what I mean? And so we got to facilitate and do that from start to finish in terms of organising the car from the dealership, getting the special limited edition, no cookie cutter rubbish build, pre-delivery, pre-everything, and then be able to pick him up from the airport, deliver it, and just the whole package of, and as you said, I guess our 10-year mission is to be a destination to build whole packages start to finish. You know what I mean?
And how good was it seeing Clive's face? He had this car and he personalised it to his own little thing, and he couldn't be more fucking wrapped. That was pretty cool.
I think the other two, without to be cliche, but Andy will never forgive me if I don't say it, being able to get Lumpen up on the hubby and the rollers after a while in its beautiful new shade of Tiffany blue kind of stuff. I dare say you probably got more followers than we do, kind of stuff like that. But you know what I mean. Look, that was a cool one. I guess Andy's been a customer of ours for 10-something years. You know what I mean, and to be able to take that car.
What's the one thing about Lumpen that you like?
I think my favourite thing about Lumpen is it's the combination of the plates, the colour, the engine, the everything, you know what I mean? And it's one of those, it's that classic, the perfect type of customer that we want to work with, where it's 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 in your face and it's out there, and it's, he built it because that's how I want to fucking build the car. Man, it's not built for anybody else, man. That's how he wanted it, start to finish. And there's a million people out there who would have been, it looks better in black, but it's like, man, I want this thing Tiffany blue. And I think that's pretty much sums up exactly why we do what we do. You know what I mean? Being able to go, what do you want to build for you know what I mean, and being really clear on it, and then just being the, I guess the medium to be able to help these guys build their dream cars. And being able to see that through start to finish has been something pretty cool.
The one thing I'd like to add to that one is that, I mean, Lumpens is a pretty sort of extraordinary build, but the thing is the guy drives it daily if and when he needs to. I think we've really sort of harnessed in that we're not trying to build the fastest of anything, but it's got to be obviously practical, usable and reliable. And I think Lumpens, as far, as much horsepower kilowatt he's got at the engine, the guy can still he drives it down here just for a service.
Yeah, exactly right. And look, the only other one which I guess is kind of special because we're doing final delivery on this tomorrow, is obviously Big Rusky's VF Clubby. I mean, that was Big Rusky's been such an amazing customer of ours for forever, and unfortunately the big fella passed away earlier this year, and it was one of those things there right at the start where Christy, Ross's wife, wasn't sure if he was going to sell the car or not, and then we all came together and the decision was made to to finish that build to honour the big fella. And it was one of those builds that it was just like 7 litre iron block, 4.5 litre Whipple. At the time it was one of the very first ones ever done in Australia. And it was like the feeling to get right now, literally, as we sit here watching it getting detailed in the car park, knowing that we got to tick and finish off that build for the big fella. Now you're probably up there, Russ. I'm sure you'll.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll watch it get driven around by the family and all that sort of stuff. So, man, it's one of those sentimental pieces. I know Matt had a great relationship with the big fella as well. So I know that news took him pretty hard. But again, for us to be able to have the opportunity to finish the build off and see it all the way through, I guess it means a lot for us, and to be able to deliver it back to Christy. Don't know if she's going to be able to drive it, but I'm sure she'll give it a fucking red-hot crack.
It's exactly how the big fella would have wanted it. Loud, obnoxious, in your face, something totally different. Look, mate, Russ, thank you, mate. We miss you, buddy.
Give us a couple of quick fire other ones.
Builds? Oh God.
Something new, cutting edge. That sort of
cutting edge.
That we've just delved into.
Look, a couple of these Trackhawk and Challenger builds and the Hellcat builds. It was really cool to do some more playing, obviously, with our relationship with the boys at SCD. Get to do a bunch of Hellcat stuff with them. And then obviously, as that developed into the Trackhawk platform, I think it's one of those things that, man, I just fucking love everything about Hemi and the engine and the brand. And once again, like those cars are just, I don't know, man, like there's just a presence to a Trackhawk or a Demon or a Hellcat, and it's everything Hemi embodies is what I fucking love, you know what I mean? And it's just got that, you know what I mean? And then not only does it already make massive, obnoxiously in your face, like American power to start with, then for us to be able to get it and put our twist on it, I think those builds are super cool.
There's something about the Trackhawk, so it just doesn't, when you're pushing 800 horsepower out of them, just something about it. Doesn't feel like you'd want to be carrying the pram in the back of it, with the kids in it. But hey,
look, I guess it's tough. Like with so many, I feel bad because it's, you start doing these big 500 plus kilowatt Mustang builds, which are almost a weekly occurrence for us now. And it feels bad to say they're not one of our favorite builds because it's like close to our heart, you know what I mean? But I guess we're just blessed to be able to be in that position, you know what I mean? Some of the awesome Ram stuff we get to do these days. Once again, I don't know, man, just bigger, badder, America in your face, V8 trucks, man. Like, what's not to love about that stuff?
I guess with the end of Holden and I guess the LS sort of base, it's like the gaping hole for Hemi to come right on through, and they've fucking harnessed that, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And then probably a random one to throw in there. We were lucky enough to do a couple of those F-150 Raptor builds this year, which are cool. Ford, if you're out there watching, build more of these things, bring them into Australia. We need some V8 or some big turbo petrol trucks in Australia. Make it happen, guys. The people have spoken. Listen.
One more, I guess, is Elduro.
Benny's Camaro.
Yeah, that was an absolute wild fucking build, that one there.
That was cool.
High stakes. Yemi got everything sorted.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, look, once again, one of those perfect ones where it's just like the first meeting with Benny was, boys, I don't know what I fucking want, what should I do? And we got to, give all our advice, all our experience, what was going to work, and suggest it start to finish, and he kind of just handed the keys and the trust over, and then to be able to building something that was supercharged, black on black badass, exactly the same way we would build, we've always
it's
built our
exactly
East Coast
right.
cars.
Yep.
And to see the look on his face as he fucking tore that thing out of me sideways was, like that's a really cool feeling.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you think some of the funniest moments of 2020? I know it's hard to remember because we giggle our asses off every day.
All right. Well, the team is a funny bunch of people. Now, I've really got to be tasteful here because, obviously there's a lot of in-house sort of jokes
G-rated,
and whatnot. Yeah, and then there's obviously the ones that sort of come out the doors. I really can't pinpoint a single moment at them right now, but yeah.
Look, I'm with you,
Is
mate.
there anything that comes to your mind?
I don't know the answer to that question. I giggle like a little freaking schoolgirl every day. With the guys around here. And girls, these days as well. It's just
we had this discussion as a topic in a huddle the other morning, and everyone was sort of had their little input.
Look, let's just leave it at that. There is no single moment because they're a quirky bunch, and guys. You guys who work for us, if you're watching this video, which it's compulsory. We love you guys. It was funny as shit.
And maybe if Barkley ever comes down to do any filming or whatnot, he might be able to do some behind the scenes sort of stuff, and you guys might be a first-hand sort of experience into doing some of that. Hey, Bark.
Awesome. All right, trends that you think. What do you think 2021 is going to bring? A big change in the automotive industry.
Controversial, and unfortunately because of COVID, I reckon it's been delayed a year. But it's definitely EV.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're driving a Lightning Bolt at the moment.
Look, we own one.
You tell me all about it, but there's actually something weirdly satisfying about watching all these V8 muscle men come down here, fucking walk past a Lightning Bolt and drag shit on it. And then all of a sudden, you're like, let's go for a drive, and they don't stop giggling. The first things they get out of the car is they're like, sort of, holy shit. I think you got to start filming that because we'd be priceless. But we were meant to go to Vegas as we usually do every couple of years for SEMA, and we actually had a lot of meetings teed up with some of the big American guys that are doing some fancy shit with EVs. I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but you're as you know already. And it's a shame that we didn't get a chance to connect with those people, but who knows what 2021 has in store for us.
I think you're right.
We did as much development as we can as far as suspension with Fulcrum. Obviously slick as with some protective and matte wrapping. Obviously tinting on those things apparently fucking pretty hard thing to do, but you spend big dollars on that. So
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's funny because I was going to say it's almost the exact opposite of what I see the other trend. But after I guess us owning a workshop, Tesla for a year now, they're definitely the future. In terms of like the driving experience, the torque, just the everything. It's there's no way that these things are not going to take over. It's just a matter of when. But as I said, I don't know. No, for us, there's probably a lot of people out there that scares for us. I think we'll just bring it on. It's probably the theme of COVID, which is adapt or die. You know what I mean? You've got to pivot. You've got to embrace the technology. And I think that's probably one thing that I guess we've been lucky enough that we do really well. In terms of evolve and with the market and what's happening.
That's the thing is they always say don't pull the orange cable. I'm sure we're going to fucking pull it. See what happens.
Pull the fuck out of the orange cable. So like the electric stuff. Look, I think that's going to be big, and as I said, I think that's probably the opposite as well as you touched on it before with GM and Holden are not really here making a locally delivered V8 or that anymore. I think it really has opened the market for like the Dodge and the Jeep group and all that kind of stuff to really come in, because I think we're Australia and we're red-blooded men and women and all that kind of stuff, and we like big fast V8s that make noise, you know what I mean? And Hemi's just in your face, loud, and while everybody's kind of going left and trying to be conservative and be more fuel efficient and all that stuff, Hemi's attitude to it is, well, you go left and I'm going to go all the way to the right, make something bigger, better. And I think I just love that. People are starting to realise that Land Cruisers and Hiluxes don't hold a candle to a proper V8 petrol thing. A Ranger is all well and good, but it's Australia and we want...
So stuck in the middle there, isn't it?
V8s, you know what I mean? No one's ever sat at a barbecue going, how awesome is my 2 litre diesel?
I did the other weekend. I was bragging about it. It's twin turbo, bro. Come on.
Look, I think the Hemi thing's going to be good in 2021.
Yeah.
What I also really like about the Hemi market is that it's not one of those, LS and every man and their dog goes out and can really get involved in them. They're a more complicated platform.
Yep.
I guess similar to your Mustangs and some of your late model Mercedes and all that stuff like that. So it's not. You've got to know what you're doing to start playing with them. You know what I mean? And that excites me because I think as the technology progresses in the industry, and we've already seen it with Mustang, we've already seen it with neural network and torque-based tuning systems and stuff like that. It kind of really sorts out the people who know what they're talking about from the cowboys.
Yeah.
And if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing right. And it's unfortunately going to make the cost of modifying cars more expensive in the future, but at the end of the day, like guys like you and I, we're going to modify cars regardless of what we do. Like whether it's a car, a lawnmower, a bicycle. If you've got that gene in your blood, the gene's in your blood. You know what I mean? So you're going to do it. I think that's a really cool thing. I think digital stuff for 2021 is going to be massive. Obviously, we've got our ECC app coming out, which I think is going to be cool.
Massive, yeah.
And just the little stuff, like there's no longer an excuse with digital stuff in terms of Zoom and what COVID has brought to not build a relationship and do something face to face. And it's like the old school way of doing stuff. As much as I love it, you know what I mean? It's the future's fucking here. You know what I mean? And you've kind of got to embrace the technology. Accept the fact this is a digital world, you know what I mean, and get on with it. But I like that, because
that's a big thing at the moment. It's like the demographic is starting to shift. And we do apologise for our more senior demographic, because what is going to happen is that there's going to be more electronics involved. There's going to be online booking. The app's going to come out where we're going to push notifications out and all sort of stuff. So I guess we do apologise. Reach out if this becomes a bit of a technical block for you guys, and we'll be more than happy to, assist. But to keep up with the demographic moving forward, I guess it's definitely one of the things where people are starting a lot to want to text more or email and all that sort of stuff. So I guess it's embracing that.
Yeah, and actually probably the other thing that I think of, which we had heaps of plans for this year, and then obviously COVID fucked all of that. But embracing communities. I think we had a big program, with our VIP customer community and stuff, and a whole bunch of events and networking stuff that we were going to sort of try and launch through 2020. And I think, what I love about this business now is that we get to connect with, man, our customers are awesome. You know what I mean? And I think a big trend moving forward is going to be, it's, especially for people like us, is building a community around the, like-minded people around you, you know what I mean? And I think that's where it really, is going to shine in 2021. So hopefully as the world opens up again and we're allowed to do more catch-ups and all that kind of stuff like that, I think that's going to be a big thing in terms of, like, you're already kind of seeing that out in the Facebook world and the digital world, where it's all about groups and communities, and it doesn't matter whether it's the fitness industry or the automotive industry, but I think like groups of like-minded people is kind of the path forward, and I'm excited for that, because it just means we get to hang out with
cool people,
customers and cool people more. Some other stuff. What are you most excited for next year?
One of the things I'm excited for in 2021 is expanding and growing the team. I think with the digital age that's coming through, we're sort of starting to see that there is more room for creative design, for cultural sort of offices, for us trying to spend more time in the above box. It's going to leave pathways for people to sort of come through. So I'm really excited to build up on a leadership team.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that allows, for our people to have some freedom, not under our control or our rule.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I do think that's exciting. I feel like you get to the point when you finally get over yourself and your ego. I think you can build this all yourself.
Yeah.
So I think for us for 2021, it's probably going to I'll probably see another 5 to 6 hires in 2021 for us, and really growing this team, and once again surrounding ourselves with a bunch of people who are strong where we're weak, and vice versa, and really building this into something special. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. Yeah. Focusing on our strengths, I think in 2021, I think it's been a big thing. 2020 has been an eye opener for us in terms of, look, man, you've got to be clear on what you're good at and what you're not, and just double down.
Double down, yeah.
Massively double down on, I don't know, the shit you love and the shit you're good at, and focusing on that. So, I think for a long time we've done a bit of everything, and this year by design is, at the start of the year, I know we were planning on really making a massive push into, some other, VW stuff and some other massive stuff. massive.
Did you say it twice?
I'm excited for that for 21 to really get focused and dialed in on the shit that we're really passionate about and not have to worry about the noise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, for that. And then probably the other big thing for me for 2021 is, look, I don't know what the hell post-COVID is going to bring. I assume that we were pretty lucky in terms of, as we kind of touched on before, I think, with COVID, we're in an industry that was lucky, in terms of, because people couldn't spend money on travel and entertainment and stuff like that, so they would want to spend money on cars or their houses. I'm sure at some stage the opposite is going to happen in 2021. Which so that's going to present a challenge in itself, but then I'm kind of excited about that, without challenge and without adversity, there's no growth comes from discomfort, So I don't know what the hell 2021 is going to look like. I thought I had a really good idea of what 2020 was going to look like until everything fucking blew up.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. I think
Ask me.
That's pretty good. What else
Fuck.
are you excited about 2021?
A goddamn reset. Just to fucking,
Yeah, it's been a big year.
just to get our bearings back. Not any bearings, but our compass bearings and sort of, just to sort of close off a fucking shit fight of a year. Not shit fight as far as workload, just certainty.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of uncertainty out there. Like you felt in our customers, suppliers. Every day here we would try and bring a level of certainty, but every now and then it just pop on through. So to be able to sort of just to start a new year focused, ready to come out of the gates.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And some new tools in our fucking toolboxes, metaphorically speaking. And some people fucking actually new toolboxes. Thanks, Snap-on. So looking forward to it.
Done. I think that's it. 2020, that's it. It's done.
Thank God.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. So
All
no,
right.
but yeah. So thank you for being a part of our 2020 year, which was wish it was what it was. And can't wait to see you guys all next year.
Yeah, that's a really good point, guys. Without you guys watching, being a part of this, helping us with this build, we don't get to sit here on couches and talk shit, and do stuff like this or laugh about, the stupid haircuts people in our team have and all that kind of stuff. So thank you very much again. Thank you for following us in 2020, and we can't wait to see you next year. Have a safe Christmas, guys.
Ew.